After closing 15 million in online sales, if I had to start over from zero, these are the exact 4 steps I would take to find success faster. First, I would find the right vehicle. Because if you start at the wrong place or you sell the wrong thing, it can actually sabotage your progress. And this reminds me of a story from Alex Hormozi. This was back in the day when he was building his gyms, and he joined one mastermind. I believe it was from Russell Brunson. So Alex walked up to the stage, he unraveled all his marketing and sales strategies, and he was wondering, how can I take it to the next level? And that's when Russell looked at him and he's like, dude, you have a level 10 skill set when it comes to your business, but you're in a level 3 vehicle. And at that moment, Alex realized that he wasn't making the money he wanted to make because of the vehicle he was in. And the same goes for your sales career. If you're in the wrong place or you're selling the wrong thing, it simply won't matter how good you become at this process. Selling anything to anyone is just a myth, and if you're selling the wrong thing, you're not going to make the money you want to be making. And I've had the same exact thing happen to me. Back in my early copywriting days, I used to reach out to random offers and anyone who could use my services. And while it did help me sharpen my skill set, I ended up making pennies on the dollar because the demand for the offer wasn't there. The business owners I worked with just were too young, too inexperienced, and their offers were not proven in the marketplace. So if I could go back and start from zero, I would go and seek roles in the B2B SaaS industry as a setter. The reason being, if you look for roles at mid-market SaaS companies, and if they're funded, you know that they have an offer that works, they already have training processes in place so you can produce, and you're also selling a product that they're already selling and the market does want because they received funding for it. So what I would do is I would go to AngelList or Crunchbase, and I would literally apply or reach out to sales directors from these companies. Or if you put that industry aside and you go after large influencers you want to sell for, literally go to their booking page, book a call with them and see who is taking the call. Is it the closer that's taking the call, or is it the founder? Because if the founder of the offer is still taking calls, chances are they don't have a sales team in place, they don't have the skills to hire a team, and they also don't have a training process in place. So now, if you start selling from them, you're going to start selling in an unproven offer. Now, finding a solid offer while building your skill set will only take you so far. Which is why step 2 is really mastering the skill set. Because you can be in the best offer, but if you don't know how to sell, you're just gonna blow it. And if you're in the best offer and just making some money, you're quickly going to get left behind. So it's all about putting in the reps, but putting in calculated reps. It's not just practice that makes perfect, it's perfect practice that makes you perfect. So I used to think that just taking calls is just going to get me better. Rep after rep, I'll just get better and I'll just sharpen my skill set that way, just by taking more calls. And as it turns out, that didn't work because I was stuck with the same skills, getting the same objections, and not being able to deal with the same type of prospects. So if I could go back to that stage, here are 2 things that I would do differently. First, I'd make a habit of listening and going through every single top closer's call or chat. I'd pay attention to their tone, their pacing, the questions that they're asking, the vibe that they're bringing into the call, the energy that they sustain throughout, and how they handle objections. Now, the second thing that I would do is at the end of every single one of my calls or sales conversations, I would look back at all my sales conversations. I would take a piece of paper and I would write, what went well today? Then I would write, where did I fail? And the final thing is, what am I going to improve for tomorrow? This way, I'm making day-to-day improvements instead of just hoping for time to pass and hoping that I get better. Now, this next step is the most overlooked, but this is what changed my results overnight. And that's entering the buyer's mindset. Because let me ask you this. If you can't make decisions you're asking your prospects to make, how can you expect them to listen to you? What $1 million per year business owner is going to take advice from someone who never invested in themselves? And I wish I learned this sooner, because I kept looking at my skill set, but I never looked at my sales mindset. It wasn't until I started to align my actions with my words and my thoughts that I started to see results. I remember back in the day that I hit a certain sales plateau. It was around 10 to 15,000 a month, and I kept working on my skills. I kept drilling calls. I kept watching sales recordings, but I still was stuck day after day. And one day I thought, what the heck? Let's head into a sales coaching program. I'm gonna pay big bucks for it. I'm gonna invest in myself in a deep, powerful way, and I'll just see what happens. And as it turns out, the next day after I invested in myself was one of the biggest record-setting days in my sales career. It wasn't because I learned all the sales skill sets in one single night. No, it was because I was able to invest in myself in that big, powerful way that I was able to evoke that big of a move on the prospect's end. So for you specifically, look at where you're failing yourself in your day-to-day. Are you keeping the promises you're making to yourself? Are you constantly overthinking decisions? Are you dragging your feet when it comes to making leaps or moves? If you are, how can you expect people to be action takers or not give you objections when you're giving objections to yourself? Now, the mindset stuff is powerful, but there's still one part of my journey that if I had unlocked earlier, I would be 10x more successful. And that is creating a scalable process. Because if you want to stop trading time for money, you need a system to be able to do so. Back when I was a sales rep, I always resisted creating a process. I thought to myself, hey, what if I create a process and then the business owner hires more salespeople and they replace me? Like, what's the benefit of me even doing that? Then I realized it's actually the complete opposite. By not creating a sales process, I was sabotaging myself because I didn't have predictable results. I was shooting from the hip every single day, and I wasn't able to scale myself. I was always hitting a ceiling with my performance. When I started creating a sales process, it instantly made me 10x more valuable to myself and to the business owners that I work with. I was able to stop trading time for money, and I started closing many more deals. Essentially, I was able to build a business within an already existing business. So if I could go back, I would look at my day-to-day and ask myself, what are some actions that I could create a process around and replace myself with a system or a person? You can think about follow-ups, checking in with old prospects, reactivating your pipeline. These are all systems that you can put in within your process. This way, you will stop wasting time on money-sucking activities and you'll focus on your zone of genius, actually talking with people and closing deals. Now, all of these insights, of course, came with a lot of reading and actually earning the right skills. So if you want to see my top sales book recommendations, make sure to watch the video right here, and I'll see you there.